Army. Wow.
So where are you right now?
You're fucking nowhere, dude.
You think you're in a globe spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. That globe is spinning around the sun at 60,000 plus miles an hour. That solar system is flying sideways through the galaxy at 500,000 miles an hour. And that galaxy is going through the rest of the universe at millions of miles an hour. And you feel nothing. In reality, you are actually in a giant planetarium.
No, we're not.
Terrarium / soundstage.
Okay, actor.
/ Hollywood backlot.
Wow, he's an actor.
That you and everyone you know and everyone you've ever known never figured it out.
I never figured it out. This guy's an actor. He's a wannabe. I know actors, man. He's
1,000 miles an hour. The second stage leaves the abandoned first stage far behind as it soars 5,000 miles downrange.
Okay, that's a round window.
The Earth is plainly visible.
Delta Fag Productions. That's right. When are they going to censor this fucking movie? When are they going to find out that I'm doing Mystery Theater 2000 of their bullshit Flat Earth hit piece film that uses me and my wife without our consent? Oh, that guy. All these people said, yeah, sure, you could use my likeness in any kind of manner for exhibition. Not smart people to represent my work, let alone you, or a massive civilian audit.
It's actually getting pretty popular.
My children will have to pay for the lives in NASA.
He's trying to be friends with me on Facebook. Dell is in this too, and Dell, you should...
The number of people who think the world is flat is growing. Thousands, if not millions of people.
A lie is a lie, even if everybody believes it.
These people live amongst us. I just want to point this out.
I just want to point, these people live amongst us.
Why are people flocking to this absurd belief?
No, you're an absurd belief. Or an absurd belief is that's a real image. This jerk-off has to have sex with Carolyn Clark. Ugh. Let's watch these actors pretending to be real flat earthers in real life, surrounding me who wouldn't participate in somebody in like this tired effort to make flat Earth look stupid. So I guess where Mark lives.
Everybody's been fed.
Oh no, it's Mark is an old woman.
Right there.
Oh. Having one of Mark's favorites, we're having iced applesauce with our...
It's not... I mean, it was one of my favorites when I was young.
Well, you like it now, too.
All right, so what are we having?
We're having chicken noodle soup, iced applesauce, and some rolls.
Homemade rolls?
Look, I'll be honest with you, these are sociopaths. They're just pleased to have a camera in their house.
Spoiled.
They're making it.
I don't deserve you.
Okay, here we go. So, Mark called and said that he was a member of the Flat Earth Society.
Yeah.
And
I said, the actual society that's controlled opposition.
What are you on to now?
How do you know it's a globe? Well, it's because you saw this. It's not like you've been up there in your Jetsons car. Nobody's got a spaceship. You've been looking at this for 30 years. Yeah, you can throw that away.
Wow, somebody's been grafting.
This is the domed version.
Me, writing me out like a Hollywood script,
model.
And this guy's playing me.
The South Pole. It's like a 200-foot
yeah, no expedition in that model, buddy.
Game of Thrones
Who wants to go there? Pretty
and
depressing.
The sun and the moon are just
it's almost like, and it looks
the
ridiculous, so we'll just dismiss it.
I love movies, always have.
I love movies.
I try to compare it to
That's why I'm in a movie.
You know, the Truman Show was just a giant Hollywood stage 20 miles wide.
Yeah, you're in a giant Hollywood stage called fucking Behind the Curve.
1,000 miles wide. How many people could you fool besides
your mouth is 2,000 miles fucking wide.
Of course you're going to have questions. Everybody does. Because it's like, okay, how does
oh, great.
work?
Jim Carrey's in Behind the Curve.
Here's a perfect example.
You do realize they got to use footage from
like
a Hollywood movie.
That
means they had to pay rights. So Jim Carrey's in the Flat Earth movement.
That's Seattle. You shouldn't be able to see it. There should be hundreds of feet of curvature between us and them. You should barely be able to see the tops of those
How do they fucking deny that?
When you're doing the curvature of the Earth, here's what the Earth looks like. And what we're saying is, and of course this is exaggerated, is that if you're here, eventually, if there's an object far enough, We won't be able to see it over here because the curvature of the Earth puts it on the other side of the hill. And you could say, oh, well, it's refraction, or it's atmospheric effects, or it's mirage. It's like, no. Not in every weather condition, not in every light condition. Science is having a problem combating what we're doing. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I hate saying his name, we call him he who shall not be named, says that it's
so they had to pay Comedy Central's in this production.
Civilization and democracy as we know it.
The Earth isn't
Neil deGrasse Tyson's in this. He's had to pay for his likeness. You tell me they just went around using fair use Comedy Central material.
The reason why we're winning versus science, against science, is science just throws math at us. Whereas we go and say, hey, by the way, there's Seattle. You can see it right now with your camera. That's it.
Good for you,
says
Mark.
1,000 words.
I've never seen this film, so you see me react.
I was well versed in just about every conspiracy you can think of. I had heard about every conspiracy. Flat Earth was the last book on the shelf. It was the DVD that somebody gave you for Christmas that you knew you were never going to open because the title was horrible. It's like How to Make a Poop Sandwich, or Poop Sandwich Volume 3. But when you get bored enough with normal conspiracies, you're looking for something new. There was a certain novelty to it.
So now we introduce this reliance on cell animation.
Some of the conspiracies.
Already decided.
I don't think that everything is a conspiracy.
Mom's always doing the whole glass half full, and I'll go on and say, well, the glass is probably controlled by some sort of sinister group.
There was a German video, the guy was talking about flight paths in the southern hemisphere, how they didn't make sense. And then I stumbled across a video by Matt Boylan, and he was the contract artist for NASA.
I guess this is a photo of the Hubble telescope taking a picture of itself. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And at a high-level NASA party out in the Hamptons, they told him the GPS system doesn't work out in Antarctica because the world is flat.
And they all started laughing. And my superior had quite a weird smirk on his face. He was watching me to see how I would take all this.
This is what it is. What do you think?
No, I never said that. See, that's just it.
BS.
So they show all this stuff. They use me to then okay, and then it's crazy with googly eyes, like he's an actor inserted into my comedy routine.
I tried to debunk Flat Earth.
About
everybody
reality.
Flat Earth does the same
something
thing.
That's fucking real.
It's a stupid idea. I'm going to debunk Flat Earth.
I don't know if you're getting this. Like, I'm the highbrow, he's the lowbrow. Damage control.
When it came to this, I looked at it for literally 9 months before I finally turned around.
No, you could have had a fucking baby.
But I guess the date, I remember the time. It was February.
I looked at it for 9 months and had a beautiful hot chick
3:30 in the morning to be exact.
Marry me, and we made a beautiful
I woke
fucking
up and I said, "This is now going to flip." Once I had my arguments down, I made the series of videos. I tried to be as rational as possible. I did a lot of editing, and I made connections.
Look at the animation. They've had animation in this.
This is a Reader's Digest version containing many of the interesting parts of the Flat Earth theory. The first question is invariably, is this a joke? Because it's a joke, right?
It's amazing how they I'm executing fair use on something that's my work as a comedian.
1 + 1 = 2.
You know what I mean? And if I need to make fair use really clear here one more time.
When I put the clues out, I partially thought that this whole thing was going to crash and burn. Because I thought some guy with a master's in astrophysics or astronomy was going to call me up and say, you forgot to do this math, you forgot to carry the 2. And that's it, you screwed it up, you can shut down your channel now and everyone can go home.
The first part of the clue is the utter lack of non-stop flights from anywhere in the southern hemisphere, or in the Flat Earth model, the land masses closest to the outer ring. So I spend
what outer ring? You don't know there's an outer ring. In order to know it's outer ring, you have to go on every tangent of the ring and then hit it and go, okay, that's a fucking ice ring.
Like you didn't do that. 45 days, I was just holding my breath.
I wait for an ocean.
You hold your breath for your cartoon, Mark.
And I wait. And I wait.
Yeah, and you're causing the wait.
And I wait some more. Hours pass. Days pass. And no red planes to entertain me.
And before I even got the first 5 clues out, people started responding to me. Someone said, I want to talk to you about this. So in fact, it was
basically taking my talking points. Thank you, Mark.
A small-time debunker. We went into it, and then he started reviewing the clues, and next thing you know, he was on my side. And then another podcast picked up on him, and then it just started leapfrogging.
And we have Mark Sargent.
Your organization was amazing. Thank you.
Hi, Mark Sargent.
Hi.
Who better to bring on than our very up-and-coming, quick-rising star, Mark Sargent?
Now I go into chat rooms and people freeze. Mark Sargent's here. So like, come on, just be normal, be cool. I didn't want to wake up and do this.
Oh my god!
It was
like
something that just seemed to happen.
See, like a routine
I didn't choose
did.
Flat
Some
Earth
other
chose me.
person walk around with it like that. This guy. I mean, it's pretty wild to watch. I don't even know. I'm not like upset. I'm like, this is like creepy. It's like people fall for it, and then this guy walks around in my shoes, and then he contains you geographically, so you don't entertain more land.
People thinking that the Earth was flat.
Or an expedition.
You know, in elementary school, but in the context of history. I think it was in the last couple years that I heard that people are still believing this and making a lot of videos on it. So I started watching them because I was curious.
Did Mark bag her? Did he like?
It's something.
You know, when the more attractive women come in, that's kind of fun. Because this is just like a fucking sausage party right now, which is good because it's the only people that are going to cross. Women don't have what it takes. They don't have what it takes to cross.
Where are you going, friend?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, where's that coming from?
I can't plug in my curling iron. It's like
this is
a
a
fucking
very easy
melt
test to
the ice
perform.
if you have that.
I'm not sure when I first heard about flat earthers. It's probably
Dr.
about
Joe.
5 years or so.
Did you meet the
ago.
guy who painted globes?
Probably on the internet, I'm sure.
I saw an article maybe 6 months ago. I found it fascinating, right? Because I'm like, if these people can pull it off, they're probably really, really smart.
First time I ever heard about the flat earthers was, I think, when I was in space last. And I saw the stuff on social media. I can't believe I'm talking about this.
How do flat Earth conspiracies theories make you feel, Leo? You feel positive about them?
That's funny.
I think someone told me maybe that there's still people who believe that the Earth is flat. And so I Googled.
See, I know it.
And you find websites.
It's not curving,
and
dude.
YouTube videos.
879 videos? This man is prolific.
And I was fascinated, and I just like jumped right in, and I was probably in that spiral for 3 or 4 hours, and I ended up subscribing to a podcast, a Flat Earth podcast, and listening.
This, like others in the series, is something you can just
Riveting. I would watch this for hours.
yourself.
They're wacky. They're bizarre. But yet they find this audience that believes them, takes them as gospel. There's enough of them. They can't just all be
that
people
guy
wandering
who
around with
pretends to be
tinfoil hats
mean.
all the time. Like, these are
there's
fairly
the
normal
rapist.
people. At least
Therapist.
some of
We
Flat
go
Earth
into
the
the
rapist.
sports bar. A bartender runs over, and she goes, "You guys talking about flat Earth?" Yeah, why? And she goes, "High five."
them. You go into the office. Is someone a flat earther? You go to a restaurant. Is, the person making your food a flat earther? I don't know.
The very next day, I'm flying out, and I'm wearing a I Am Mark Sargent shirt. And you know where they go through the bag screens. This tall black kid, he motions me, like in Fight Club. "You Mark Sargent for real?" I go, "Yeah, why?" And he goes, "I'm not kidding you." He winks at me, and he goes, "That's my name, too." And he hands me the bag without even checking it.
They're everywhere.
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas.
See, what I think is going on is that each one of these people is an actor, but they actually,
Kentucky, Louisiana.
they were
5
told
years
it
ago, I
was
started doing
flat,
this
so they
full
can
brain
go
power
full
program,
on in a character.
bouncing balls off hammers, working on my
But
penmanship,
they were
working on
told
my memory,
only one condition: don't bring up more land or an
iron, cobalt,
expedition,
nickel, copper, zinc.
and do not associate with Matt Powerland. And we'll
about
keep your
14 months
bank
ago,
account
my
steady.
brain coach, Michael Lavery, said, "Nathan, you got to look into flat Earth." And then the more I researched it, and then I found out that it's
coach.
actually the
got a
biblical
brain coach.
cosmology is a geocentric cosmology. Then I realized why they're hiding the truth. It's because they don't want anyone to know anything. They want
This guy's
people
really fucking
dumb,
smart.
blind, deaf to the
He's
truth,
got, like,
so they
rubber
can
mallets,
inject you
ping
with
pongs.
their vaccines.
He doesn't have
and
ping pongs
their
on tape.
public
ping pong balls on
schooling
ping
and
pong.
this
He doesn't have ping
heliocentric
pongs on ping
model,
pong
which is
tables. He's
basically
got ping
forced
pongs,
sun
ping
worship.
ponging from fucking hammers.
You know they made up dinosaurs? People in the school system to
Okay, here we go.
perpetuate
Now it's
this
going to go
6
into the Hollywood
billion year
narrative. It's
old
like,
Earth.
dinosaurs.
Oh,
So
wait.
this guy's almost like
Math
wedged
doesn't work
in.
out. 14 billion.
And you get to be a little more loose end.
So I actually ran into a NASA employee at Starbucks. Asked him why NASA means to
This
see
guy
in
censored
Hebrew.
anything
Technically, it's the
I
word
put
Mashah,
on his
but
page, by
it
the way.
sounds
I'm the guy who
so
started
similar.
his page.
You hate Americans?
And he censored anything I put
Is that
on
it?
it.
Excuse me?
Took it off in like a day or two.
That? Well, I just got kicked out of Starbucks
So
for asking
he runs
NASA
Flat
employee
Earth versus
questions.
Globe, the official
I ended up getting
page
kicked
on
out of a
Facebook.
bunch of Facebook groups. So
He's
and
an
then I
actor.
started the group, the official
And
Flat Earth and Globe
I'll tell you he's an
discussion.
actor. How do I know that? I'm a
it was
professional
slow start
actor.
at first.
Well,
just
actually,
chatted
I
with
was a
my
guy
friends
who
and
went
said,
into
hey,
acting
talk
so I
about Flat
could
Earth.
get
There's
some
no cursing,
influence
no
to
insults.
tell you the Earth is flat. These
That was
guys
about
got into
14
Flat
months
Earth
ago,
to
and
push
that's
their acting
blossomed
career.
into
And they're
53,000
getting paid
members.
handsomely by the military, the Masons, or the Vatican, or something here.
Excuse me.
That stands to
Can I
lose
ask
a
you a
lot
question?
from it not
Anyone
being
ever
involved.
told you the Earth is flat?
So he goes around and he goes around just
I have an
aggressing.
obligation to tell people you don't live on a spinning
just gonna
ball.
fucking yell
I've
at
been
people
telling him
all
for
day.
years you didn't come from monkeys.
Oh,
Isn't
you
that
didn't come from
crazy?
monkeys, now he's using my shit.
Yeah, I run the largest flat Earth group in the world. We're actually filming a documentary about it, so.
So here's what it is. It's like
That's how it's done
the guy
right
who started with the comedy
Well, here's
routines,
some Flat Earth
watching now
music.
all these people walk around in my fucking spaceship.
We got some good books.
You don't understand what it's like to be me right now. There's no one in the world that's ever had to go through this. No one.
Vaulted dome
Maybe
of the
Christ
Earth.
with
George
Paul
Orwell,
and Saul.
1984, must read.
But this is
This
Christ
is
if Paul and Saul
Edward
existed at
Hendry's
the same
masterpiece,
time.
The Greatest
And
Lion
Saul,
on Earth.
Paul,
I'll just
well,
read
Saul
you a little bit from the
was
table
actually
of contents
going
real
around
quick.
pretending to be Christ.
The first chapter is Samuel Rowbotham proved the Earth is flat. The idea people have of flat earthers is totally wrong. You know, they think they're total idiots and they live in their mom's basement and they believe everything anyone tells them. It's quite the opposite. We test everything. We're all either super successful or doing our own thing. And I've met hundreds of flat earthers and none of them are living in their mom's basement, so.
Except
There are
Mark Sargent.
millions of flat earthers. It's a fantastic.
Oh, and then it goes to
community.
Mark, who's living with
Look
his
what
mom.
Flat Earth has inspired. So I was the first one to do a Flat Earth license plate. Then just a slew of them. Everybody started coming in with them. They started changing up the words. It's flat to Flat Earth, NASA lies, all that fun stuff. There's Arizona, Arkansas, California. Probably trying to figure that one out yourself, aren't you? I'll give you 10 seconds. Ready?
It's good. I mean, I don't mind. See,
Perfect. Wow,
like,
you're really good. Personalized
if I
license
associated
plates
with
are
him, then I would be
negative,
second
but
fiddle.
when
That
you
was the whole
look at
point.
NASA lies,
If I just go, no, this
what do you
guy's
read?
fucking, he's part of the
Nasal
system,
eyes.
I get more
Could be a
mileage out of this
freaking,
character.
nose and throat doctor.
I
You
get
don't
to
know.
use the
A lot of
Pentagon's
people
budget,
realize that
which is
if you're a
dangerous
flat
place,
earther,
a
you
place
can
for them
only
to be
date flat earthers
because
once
they
you get into it, 'cause
misprofiled
it's too
me.
much of a paradigm shift. So there's now flat earth dating
Push the
sites
flat
popping
Earth
up.
by this guy going around.
Ever since the whole flat earth thing started, I start getting
and whatever budget he has
merchandise
all
in
day
the
to say flat
Flat
Earth,
Earth
flat
paddle
Earth.
ball thing
Because
with the globe at the end.
I'd rather
It's a clever
have
idea, you know,
them hire
that's
somebody I can manipulate the
Have you seen
circumstance.
his kitty? His
'Cause I
name
can't
is
manipulate
Research
the
Flat
individual,
Earth,
and I
and
can't
like the
manipulate the person who's
curvature
giving the
of
money.
the false globe model,
But
he is
they don't know
missing.
how I can manipulate the circumstance
Every
where I'm going
once
to
in a while someone will send me a
checkmate
book.
him.
It is not
Even
like
though I
reading
know you're going to start
Flat Earth
ghosting me on
Watch.
YouTube, you're going
I
to
mean,
like
seriously, Flat Earth can
unsub
be put
people
on
that are
anything.
subbing.
This is
They are doing that.
giant version
The
of
internet
the
was done by
license plate
Benoit
of my
Mandelbrot,
car.
who brought up the Mandelbrot.
And of course,
Godfather of
thing
fractal
right here,
mathematics, iterative connection and
that's
sequential.
what makes this community
hyperlink
different. Because
on
with
the
every
internet
other conspiracy,
through
I'm not
IBM,
going to rattle them
IBM
off.
systems.
It's always this dark,
And so I know how it works,
sinister,
the
evil.
internet.
People feel bad about it. This thing really makes people,
pictures of my
gives
fucking
people a lot of
lunch,
positive
putting
energy,
them on
so much
Facebook.
enthusiasm, matter of fact, that they make things. They make, I mean, we've got songs.
Blame it on the Russians.
When's the
there's his
last time
girlfriend.
somebody made a happy folk song about 9/11?
We're going to go into 9/11. It's like, that's fine. Oof, touchy stuff.
Greer?
Oh, no. So here's his boyfriend.
Well, I
Dressed up as a girl.
started in
And when I say dressed up as a
broadcasting,
girl,
if you
like
call doing YouTube broadcasting,
snip,
because my father
snip,
owned a
snip.
radio station.
I know a
In
guy
fact, the jukebox
that had this
here that
woman
was
come
in the
over to his
lobby of
place,
the radio
never
station
met her,
when I was
fell in love
growing
with her
up.
through
It's a
Skype,
1973
and had her
Wurlitzer
come to Britain
1050.
and said,
It is
her
original,
clitoris
all original, except for the
was the
records.
same color skin as the rest of her body. This is a fake woman.
Morrissey, the lead singer for the band The Smiths, is very close to my heart. He was an inspiration
This one
to
here
me when I
drives
was
around
very
on a Lexus,
young.
I think, in the
song
movie.
Meat is
It's
Murder
like, who's
changed
paying for
me
this
to being vegan. But he's not a flat earther, but there's still hope. Oh my gosh, I love cats. I don't know why I love them so much. They're beautiful and delicate and selective. That's good. I have a bunch of conspiracy books, a little vegan section. I have some books that are written by flat earthers, actually.
I eat a lot of fucking meat, Patricia.
Le Flat Earth. It's all the varying memes about flat Earth. Zen Garcia, Firmament, Vaulted Dome of the Earth.
I'm writing my book.
When I was first doing the Flat Earth stuff, Patricia comes on a podcast. She wasn't making Flat Earth videos. She wanted to interview Flat Earthers. She was like the Flat Earth reporter.
Hello and welcome to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. Episode number 15. Episode number 68. Episode number 159. Mark, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I tell
very
me I was
much
going to have a
for
whole
having
chapter
me.
in my
I
book.
could not be more excited about
the
being
moment
on
when
this
you
show
go
right
to
now.
fucking Britain,
We
you
started
discover your
talking
man.
on Skype.
It's all going to be in the fucking
and
book.
We'd have these marathon conversations 3 and 4 hours long, and we just talk.
What happened that day in Flat Earth? What had happened during that past week?
That's a man.
Involving
I'm sorry. This is according to another flat earther that
I said to
made
him
love
one
or
day,
tried to make love.
why don't we just do a
It
show?
took a lot. It took like
And I
7 months for him to
jokingly called
fucking.
them the
I have to
secret
tell
show.
everybody. That takes a lot of courage.
Everything. She's always late. 5 minutes. 5 of your.
Oh, there he is.
Also, to this narrative
Hello.
that if you don't have children, you become a flat earther.
Hey. All right, are you ready to go?
Hey, guys, keep looking.
Don't save the best stuff for the... save the best stuff for the show. That's what I meant to say.
I know.
Hello and welcome to Flat Earth and Other
got
Hot
it wrong, by the way,
Potatoes.
these two.
This is episode number 174. This is The Secret Show. I'm Patricia Steer and with me is Mark Sargent. Hello, Mark.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Did you get a chance to see the satellite that went down in Brazil?
Yes, I did see that. And,
Fascinating.
And it came down on a balloon.
And you say, how do satellites get up there? Balloons. And they laugh at you. It's like, okay, well, here's one. Me to you. Let's just talk. Just you and me, shall we?
Okay.
Let's bring it down.
Bring the lights down low.
Yeah.
When we started doing The Secret Show, and even before that, we had a lot of chemistry.
Within, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, she said, hey, thinking about coming down to Houston, visiting?
Since I was thinking about anyway moving to Seattle, which had nothing to do with him really, might as well go, check it out, and meet up with Mark to see if there's anything there. A go-see, as you might say.
She came up and we spent a weekend talking and comparing notes and just kind of getting to know each other.
It was really great. I want to go again. You start with the mail, and I'll go in live chat and see if anybody's actually listening to this show except us.
Masquerade
Something
injections here.
I think could have developed from that, to the point where
He's getting
we
some
were
injections.
Toying with the idea. She was thinking of buying
Deacon's
a
getting
saddle.
injections.
She was
What is that,
seriously
tofu? You
gearing
getting
up for this.
tofu injected in your face?
It ended up that I didn't end up
I'm all
moving.
natural.
Things happened in my life with another romantic relationship.
And then she moved to London for a year.
A few red flags I chose to ignore. Now in retrospect,
Like
I
your
see.
red dick?
But should have not ignored them.
Something goes wrong and she turns around and hauls all her stuff, moves all her stuff back at an enormous expense. And her
Dildos
cats.
or weird sex
How much
devices.
cost to transfer cats to another country? A lot.
Well, they were chipped.
I know you love cats, but get different cats.
Bro Sanchez says, y'all make a good couple. Quit
Oh,
playing.
wow. So you're
LOL.
connected with a guy who buys views.
No. Look, there's a reason why we've done this show as many times as we have.
Exactly.
He's got a big
We are a
billboard
couple.
there.
Couple.
Guy's got a budget.
We do have
It's like,
love for
we
each
don't want to
other.
let him know
I mean, I can't really
that we got a big budget
But I
behind
do
him,
have
but we'll
love
give
for
him a
I've
bit.
told him this. It's a love I don't really quite understand. It's not like platonic love and it's not like romantic love. We're both in a cause together, and that is a kind of love.
Of course,
Okay,
the big
Joker
news for today is the Flat Earth International
She does look like
Conference.
Cruella from 101
Community has
Dalmatians.
grown to such a size that not only
But
are
hey,
we
look,
doing meetups on
They showed up. I knew they had a
pretty much
budget. They
every
just showed. They all showed up at the same time. I'm like,
in any major city.
don't get associated with
Now
any
we're
of them.
doing
Play
an
it like you
international
might. Don't get in too
conference,
deep. They're going to try to like
which is in Raleigh,
brand
North
you
Carolina
with
in
their
the fall.
crazy and then
So
just
I'm going
shut
to be
down
doing
Flat
the
Earth right
keynote
away.
speech on the first day.
But just fucking milk it.
90%
Milk
of the
it.
Flat
If
Earth
you need to
community are in the
cause a
closet.
war with
But now
them,
we're
whatever it
almost at
is,
that tipping point
they'll have to stay in
because
the
now
character, and you
celebrity
can call it their next
references
movie
and there's mainstream
as if
media
they were
references.
fakes, and they won't be able to play that
Sky
move,
is the
and
limit.
you'll get more mileage out of their
Probably
character.
literally.
I see what you did there.
With a budget
When Mark said they were
that if it
gonna
was
have this
directly
conference, and I thought, oh,
on me,
right.
I'd have
And
people
I
saying,
said,
"Tell
how
him
many
this.
are you
Don't be fucking
expecting?"
serious about
Thinking
Flat
that,
Earth."
You know, 300.
I knew how it was
Well,
gonna go.
shoot. They've already got
Comedy
about
World.
1,000.
Constant.
There's so many people that are excited. I mean, heck, the VIP
Constant
thing sold out last night during my show.
My show.
I cannot believe how this thing has expanded. If there isn't something to be said for it,
so it's like the money.
Then
so it's like the new gold rush. So when people go, nobody said anything. Like when I said I generate $459 million in the economy, that wouldn't have been there in the status quo economy of heliocentricity of the globe.
Are you aware
I haven't heard too many fucking people try to like debate that because you don't want me to throw
do you want to talk about how you think the Earth is flat?
I do not think the world is flat. I'm just saying there's some stuff about it.
How do people actually believe
this guy's fucking making a paycheck to be on TV just to do damage control against the flat Earth.
Round Earth. You just grew up.
These guys are all getting paid a television wage to appear.
Shaq goes the other way. Not debatable. It's flat. Kyrie, flat. Draymond, flat. What is going on in the world?
I often like to say that if you gave me 5 or 10 minutes with you, I can probably tease out some belief you have that your friends would think that that's
I see Seattle. I see Alaska.
We tend to
Russia.
form beliefs based on a couple of things. One is our intuitions, just what feels right. Another is
these kind of doctors kind of scare me, and that's I guess why the operating term is they run a practice.
Indeed, it looks flat.
That seems like a reasonable thing, and so you ask, okay, well, why are we saying that the Earth's round? If you don't have someone who's going to give you a satisfying answer, you might well then try to find alternatives.
This is where, like, that joke I had as a comedian, this is mine, Owen, Benjamin, stop fucking stealing shit. Look at the date of this video.
Powers that should
doctors run a practice. They're practicing.
Believe us.
They're practitioners.
And
they're practicing doctors. They're practicing lawyers.
Something you see a lot in science
acting presidents.
Is imposter syndrome, which is a phenomenon where the more you know about a topic, the more you feel like you aren't actually an expert. You feel like you can't possibly be an authority on this. On the flip side, there's
a condition that I do not have.
The Dunning-Kruger effect is a psychological finding. That
it's a label created to dismiss people that know the truth.
Tend to have a false confidence that they are, in fact, very knowledgeable about something.
No. We see things that defy your trigonometry.
Assume that you have all the facts, that what you know is everything that there is to know.
No, what I know is what is known universally by everybody if they apply your trigonometry.
Right, here's an equation, here's a diagram.
Okay, that's very high up. I saw you were above treetops.
And I feel like that's just as good as an opinion of a physicist or a consensus of 20 physicists.
We've all been
20 idiots
brainwashed
doesn't
by
mean
scientists,
it's real.
by those priests of a new religion.
Science is just the search for truth.
So we're the priests now when we expose your
starting
priests.
At I don't know, then chipping away at the I don't know through evidence with no motive on where.
But I do know.
You come up with
I
a new
painted
idea,
this,
and the
you
first
still
thing
have
that's
no
gonna happen is
video.
10
It's
people
so
are gonna try to figure out
simple.
why it's
If you could send
it's
crap that could
institutional
pick up
disconfirmation.
grains
So
of
you have
sand
convictions really well
from the
earned.
surface
You
of
have a vendetta
Mars
against that.
and photograph it, you could
is a
get
little-
24/7 video so we could see the hurricane hit
literally in
Florida
the first month. And it's the
in
exact
full
opposite.
globe doing
We're not
one
just
rotation.
winning.
You don't even
We're
have one fucking
crushing
day.
them because they
And that
don't
was one of my
know
conditions
how
with
to
the
address
producer,
it.
is that
Because
that
they're
would
not
be
convinced they
included
can
in
knock it
our
out, they don't wanna
conversation
get
on
into the ring.
camera,
We've
or I'm
got
not a part of your
questions out
film.
there which
There
they
are certain
can't
points
answer.
would have to be
How much
in
time
the
do you
film
have
for me to
spend
participate
on
in your
every
film.
theory that is
She
out there?
declined those
And
points.
Many times, the things that we are debating are not even theories.
So we're talking about
either
like
because they're not
the
falsifiable,
styles of how we debate
or
reality.
sometimes they've
We're not
already been
talking about
falsified.
all your
Absolute
globes are
justification.
painted and there's no real video. Again, a cartoon on their model.
A bullet through space.
Again, a cartoon. Nobody talked about how there's a heavy reliance on cartoon as proof
Where's the ball
of
going to come
globe.
down? It's going to come down in my hand. Okay, it's not going to fly through the back windshield of my car.
So are
Okay,
there
no
any
one talked about
scientists that
all
are
their
in
proofs of equations coming
flat
out of
Earth?
cartoons. And the audience is still under a
can't-
spell
once you get to a
that
certain
that
level of
validates
education,
the argument
the
that the Earth
education
is a
system
round
more or less
ball.
owns you.
But
You're
the
not
argument
allowed
that
to do certain
the
things.
ball
And
is
think of
not true is
teachers have to
their
get master's
proof
degrees.
comes down to
Think of
cartoons.
a normal educator.
So they've
if they came
juveniled
out and said that.
juvenilized
No matter where they
the
were.
audience's self-perpetuating arrogant intellect and misinformed intellect.
Are there any stats?
Feed it what it's supposed to have for its level of inebriation, as Bob no doubt.
That are willing to go on the record?
Well, I mean, there's always whistleblowers, you know. There's always some people that
There are, and even if you're a tenured professor, I mean, if you come out with something like that, you can get drummed right out of your business. So, I mean, obviously there's a very real risk to their livelihood. I work for Denver International Airport as a consultant. I work for several of the city governments. I'm a forensic consultant for the Denver Police Department. I do the town of Lyman's entire IT. There are physics students out there, there's astrophysics students, and they're all arriving at these same conclusions. How is it that they could possibly all be wrong? And my response to that was that they are putting things in a perspective that they've been taught. Nobody wants to admit that they've been fooled, but the reality is it's happened to every one of us.
He's not being pragmatic.
Confirmation bias is one of the most solid empirical
all your
findings
images
in psychology
are painted.
If I have a belief or an attitude,
that was my main
I would
condition of
search
being. I'm going to be in this film. It's going to be very simple.
instances that
At one
confirm
point, we're going
what
to
I
talk about how space
And also, I find
proofs,
myself in a company with a
imagery
lot of other
are
people
painted
who think
and
the same
CGI,
way
and none
as
of them
I
are from
do.
camera
Of course, we always listen to
snapshots
Bob.
or
He
film
always just has a
and
really
light
good
exposure with the trigger. It's really happening,
People think
recorded,
that,
like a
defying
documentary.
gravity by taking a microphone and
It's supposed to
dropping
be
it
a
on the ground
real,
and saying, "There's gravity."
objective,
It's like, yeah,
there's
there's gravity,
view of,
bitches. I mean,
what's going on.
It's laughable.
No, an objective view would be
You're
like
welcome.
camera
You're
like you
welcome.
use for a documentary.
It gives me a little bit
snapshot
of
the globe.
practice.
The very
What are we
principle
doing
and
wrong? Are you going
ethic
to that by any
that's
chance? Are you going
supposed
to
to
the conference at all?
run
Oh,
Hot Docs
Flat
Festival
Earth's
in
positive.
Toronto
When flat earthers
and
get
documentary
together, it doesn't
ethic
matter their background
was
or whatever, they
actually
just- it's like you connect on such a deep
superseded
level.
for the purposes of a
How does that work
skewed
as far as a dome,
bias
celestial?
angle
Yeah.
to make it look
Mark
like a
Sargent
weird
asked me
color.
about that. I'm not going to assume there's a dome until somebody can show me the
Here we got
curvature of the
Dome.
sky.
So then you got this guy who
I find
who's
out
like
otherwise,
on
I'm
record
just gonna say
on
infinite.
CBS saying he's Math Powerland, saying
A
he's
lot of
me.
infighting becomes
He's in
something
the
of
movie.
like
No, I don't want to
faction
be in the movie
and
with a
have
guy who says
agendas
he's
diverting
me.
us from the fact that we don't know if the world
I don't
is
know what I'd
flat,
be lending my image out
a
to.
ball or flat.
As you're looking at the model,
So they
you're
had
looking at
this
all
guy in the
different
movie, too,
possibilities and making it
who's
come together.
on record by
When it
email with
comes about
MGTV
fighting,
saying the
oh,
Earth
you're
isn't
lying
fucking
about
flat, you
this,
moron,
or that's not
because
true,
MGTV
or that's
gaslighted
not
him
conducted.
by the fact that his brother got committed
Flat Earth has
suicide, but they probably
camps.
sacrificed him. He's got
It is
Lucifer
not
tattooed on his
unified by
chest,
any
that he
degree.
used to fucking troll for
70% of
Scientology.
them
That guy right
believe
there
that
used
this
to be
is covered
paid by
by some sort of
Scientology.
dome. The other
okay,
30% believe
to troll
that
anonymous
it's not covered, and
and
there's just
like
more
do damage
versions of
control
this
about
outside.
anonymous videos
I
on
use Life of
Scientology.
Brian
That guy right
as
there
the-
pretended to be Math Powerland on CBS News. CBS
One
didn't
of the
vet him at all
metaphors for
or went
how
along
Flat
with
Earth
it because they're
fragmented
part of the
when it first
game.
came out.
That guy there
He
used to work for
was
Scientology.
running away from them when he drops his shoe.
He's given us a sign. Oh, he has given us.
You know, the little kid with the black hair there, not this guy in the
Instantly,
movie.
within, I think,
And again,
less than
they have
90
to grab a
seconds,
movie from like
a
fucking
series of religions formed around the drop.
Monty Python.
Let us like him. Hold up one shoe and let the other be upon our
So it's a
own.
comedy
Another shoe is a
mockumentary.
sign, but we must gather shoes.
Cast off the shoes, follow the goal.
It's a psyop-mentary.
There's no dome.
Infinite plane. It
Oh, they got
doesn't
this
seem
poor girl got roped
natural.
into it.
Guess it's a dome. Hold up the sign.
See, all these people said yes to it.
It is a shoe. It's a shoe.
They sent that memo to even people where they used their YouTube video. Now, here's the deal, Carolyn Clark, and I'm going to say this on the record. Fair use.
There's competition.
Because we're assessing copyright
Because of that
violation and
competition,
fair use, and we're putting it to
you
the
mix
test
that
where I'm
with a
on
little bit of
frame
conspiracy,
talking
a little
about
bit of
something
paranoia.
that was
People
a
go
result
off
of
the
my
freaking
monologue as a comedian that
Matt
you
is
even
one of
approached
the,
me
if
and I
not
said
the
no
oldest
unless I talk this
veterans
way.
of the Flat Earth
I'm going to
community.
find out if the
And
people
so,
where you use their
when
YouTube
he
clips,
throws a
you
temper
even
tantrum,
approached them
everybody
with a
hears
consent
it.
form.
This
And
is
if you
what's
did,
happening.
well
There's
then
a
you
mutiny
violated
going on.
your own
Here
natural accord with
is like
individuals
raising
in
a
your
red
film,
flag.
where you even approached people to use their footage from their channel. And you violated that as well.
I'm the reason why Edward Snowden.
And I will fucking get
The
that.
Flat Earth thing started taking off
Through subpoena.
after the clues were put out.
I don't need a lawyer.
People were
I don't
calling
need
me
the fakes
asking
that
to
decided,
interview
okay,
him
Robert
because I was
Platt,
one
you
of the
start
only people
talking
that
about
knew
the Earth
Matt's
being
phone
flat.
number. And he's doing the whole
Right?
Earth artist
Robert
thing.
Platt
It's like, oh,
probably
no,
started
I don't
saying the
think
Earth was flat. It's like,
We have to
Robert, we let you have spirit.
Do you want to talk about Flat Earth?
Donald Trump,
Sure,
don't
why
be such a
not?
patriot. We got
Here's
the
my
film of you
spiel.
at Epstein's Lilith Island,
Matt
fucking 14-year-old,
lost.
13-year-old
He
girls
went
and
the top.
boys.
He did a series of videos and called into another podcast. It was streaming live. Called everybody out. Is convinced that I work for the government. That you, sitting here now, apparently this is a government safe house, and where I am on the payroll. Matt wanted to be the king of Flat Earth.
No, but I am.
he
It's
wanted
my
your own.
monologue, dude. You're not here without me.
I started this. I'm the tension.
that caused the flat
My
Earth.
wife's there. Poor
That's
her.
how the flat Earth started.
Which is not what happened. The community just kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and his voice just became lost in the wind. to where all of a sudden we started, you know, the conference was announced down in North Carolina, and he was invited.
No, it wasn't.
And
you guys just did that
said,
on
no,
the
I'm not
open.
gonna comment.
I said, I want to
Why
show up,
should I be in
just
a
pay
room
for the
with you
hotel
guys?
and get me
You're
out there.
nothing without me.
I started this thing, you're selling tickets.
Song and dance.
I was like,
That
I
was
wouldn't even
annoying.
accept the fee, just
So
pay for my accommodations and my flight
now
out. Just to
it's
see at
getting
what
more
point
serious.
these people were like, no, you stay in a hotel and you pay your own way to get out to the thing you started. I was like, you guys are fucking government. You're all getting a salary.
Sargent's not Mark Sargent.
You're telling me everybody's flying out
It's
while you
Warner
collect the
Brothers.
fucking check from people
Idiots.
on my
I
work?
told you. Warner Brothers has a deal with the Pentagon and the CIA.
Matt went on complete tear.
Did he?
Cried.
With your mom.
Swore that he would have revenge. It's like, whatever, dude, you're still not coming to the conference. He's just thrashing. He's trying to tear everybody down if he can. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal.
So
but
why
it
does he need
causes
to talk
ripples
about this?
with the
Why do they
downstream.
want to find out about
We're
this?
trying to
Because
look
they
for stability.
didn't get
to
me
the
in their
point where
film.
It's accepted.
And they need to fill that narrative that they didn't get, making me look crazy out of context, just releasing all my footage for exhibition. And they get them with excerpts to fill in a narrative. This is a propaganda film. It's so clearly so. So it's like, there he is like math, and then he looked crazy, and then
Flat
This is clearly a propaganda film.
without
It's
believing
in the
some
style of
giant
a propaganda film.
Because
It's like, who
you
wakes
have
up in the
to
morning and is like,
have some
let's
reason
take out the
why
guy
all
who
this
did a
proof
comedy
is
routine
wrong.
that made fun of
and if it's
NASA and wants to do
wrong,
an
then it
expedition.
had to have been faked.
I don't know any of
If it
these
was
people.
faked, well, there you go. There's your conspiracy. And what I always am most curious about is, why would someone bother to fake all this?
So when it comes to science, think of it this way. If you have
he's gonna say God and Truman
450
Show.
years
Jim
of
Carrey's showing up,
them
folks.
showing you it's a globe, how much is that worth to them to keep it? It's worth everything.
But then, Mark, you
Yeah,
have to-
like metals
who
and
was
more
behind
land
the whole
and
thing?
like
I mean,
timber
that's
and new
the-
vegetables and big trees.
I
that
wish
you've
I was
never
in a conspiracy.
Just like potatoes
that seems
and
so
corn.
exciting.
Never
I
had
wish
when
that
you
I was
found
getting paid
until
off.
America.
I
Nobody
really
left
do.
Europe
When
to
I was
fucking
in
have a piece
space,
of land.
I got paid extra. $5 a day. That's how rich I got.
Well, I think of all of these conspiracies or belief systems as a spider's web. And from what I can see,
So what I'm doing here for
flat Earth
fair
is the
use, it's called fair
center of
use,
it all.
is we get to
start
watch this for
conspiracy
educational
theories in
purposes,
someone's head. It's
a
amazing how
propaganda
suddenly
device,
everything
propaganda
seems this way.
film
the powers
posing as
that should
a
not be
neutral,
are
objective
doing whatever
documentary.
they can
Using
with
fake
the
actors that are not even real,
with
that
the
we've
GMO
proven over and over
foods,
again, that
with
receive
the
some sort of
chemtrails.
salary here,
The
showed up in nowhere.
transgender push in the media.
And,
they're trying to turn all the guys into girls and girls
and
into
give
guys.
you
Even
the
fear,
actual
the fear
objective
that there will be hijackers
view they were supposed to
taking a plane
give,
and putting it through
as
a
they claim
building
to be documentary
of-
filmmakers,
by the
but
way,
they're
I
really
don't believe there were planes through
editorial.
buildings.
They seem to have to tell us and
documentary,
disclose
fictional
to us what they're
documentary
doing through media,
makers.
movies, TV shows.
And then this guy here, rape.
Are the
They got the
real
rape victim,
controllers.
they got the
I don't
Luciferian
think
who
there's
said it was
anybody
me on CBS,
who's
they
at
got
the
this
top
man
of
dressed
the
up as a
program.
woman who
Some
got
people
tit
point the
implants,
finger at the Jews.
fucked like Antonio
Some say
Super Rats who
it's
came out,
The Rothschilds,
Masons,
and the
and this
Rockefellers.
guy here blocks all my video footage on
The
his
Vatican.
Facebook
Yeah,
channel.
ultimately, the Vatican.
There's bad people in all of those groups, and probably pretty normal.
They got like a
people in
small
all
amount
those
of
groups.
people showing up.
I don't know if
We
there's
got
good
the
Satanists.
fucking
Anybody
CIA
who you
agent
can
that worked
see
in the
or you
military
know
for
their
10 years
name,
picking up
they're
body
merely
parts
a
in
front
Afghanistan.
for- you're never going to
You know
know
who's
who
seated
the
next
real
to this
controllers
guy.
actually are.
Now they got the
Oftentimes,
rapist.
It
I
actually
mean, it's
starts
bad.
with conventional wisdom isn't to be trusted.
Then the doctor
Governments
shows
aren't
up.
To be trusted. Scientists aren't to be trusted. And
The
when you
silentist.
start with that premise, then you can get into all sorts of corners.
All right.
And I think what's really scary is what they're actually doing isn't just hiding the flat Earth. It's the fact
It's hiding the expedition across Antarctica by fucking thousands of civilians. Just like a fucking marathon to audit the globe from the ground. Boom, it fucking adds up to South Africa from fucking like Chile and Argentina. Like, that's it. That's all we want to do.
There's an event like a
Matt will never do that.
she's Boston bombing again.
Make
I'm
sure
not
of that
going
with
to
this
believe
film,
any
and
of
then
those
you
events are
showing up
real
at every
unless myself, I don't know.
every opening
For many
night
people, no matter
where they make
what
fun of
evidence
you, saying
throw
that
at
I'm not
them,
going to do an
they can
expedition.
come up with this
And the
more
doctor
complicated and
who's practicing about
I think most of
whether he knows psychology.
less believable hypothesis.
I get amateur astronomers will say, I can see the moons of Jupiter. Go to
This
a
is my
planetarium.
bit.
Does Jupiter look like a sphere to you? Who's to say that when you walk out of that one, you're just not in a much bigger one? Above the clouds, it is a display system.
There's this huge mound of evidence that most of us come to accept that really requires that you go through one after another and say, nope, I don't believe that, I don't believe that, here's a countervailing theory. It just can spiral on itself and have this sort of snowball effect.
The funny thing is that I'm a conspiracy realist, but there's conspiracies about me.
I look at episode 54 of Patricia Steer. These people I hired by section heads and supervisors in supervisor roles at NASA, the NSA, the FBI, the CIA. These aren't regular people.
It started off with me being called a shill, as if I'm doing this.
No, you're being called a man by the guy who got you naked in his bed in London. He says you're a fucking, you're a tranny. You had a sex change. You used to be a man.
So what?
It's a great way to hide an identity. Oh, this guy. He's like a retired fucking PSYOP supervisor. He does the roundup like fucking McLaughlin group on Sunday on the Flat
I
Earth.
never thought that the name Patricia, which is my first name,
like Patrick,
spun into the fact that the last 3 letters are CIA in the word Patricia, which means
Patrick CIA.
Because the government would be that dumb. But okay, if people want to believe it.
Take it off.
Other things
Spread
that have
it
been
open.
said
I
that
want to see
I'm a
if it's the same color the
reptilian,
rest of
and
your
people see
fucking
my
skin.
eyes shape shift while I'm on YouTube. That I drink blood.
No, you drink
The
your
most
piss.
recent one is that I'm transgender.
You're into like urine. Well, I'm not saying it's bad, but you do drink your piss.
I even threw up a question one day. What's up?
Now
with
here we
Patricia
go.
Steer,
It
you know? 'Cause
degenerates.
I don't know. But,
so then the documentary filmmaker's like, all right, now we passed the midway mark. Now it's just like collapse these characters, and then one final foolish experiment with who?
I could and have shown people my birth certificate, my driver's license.
So this is all about whether or not she's a man or CIA.
Well, if you're CIA, all of that stuff can be
It's like, why do they need to?
People will still say.
Because I didn't participate in the film. So this is all they could do.
There's nothing that I can do.
That's what this is. She's trying to get me in the film. I didn't bite. And so this whole film is like trying to find a way to be a film because I wouldn't be in it and roped into some crazy fucking Kramer to Mark Sargent Seinfeld.
So conspiratorial.
So they gotta focus on this fucking tranny driving and Tony Subarats.
Am I like another version of them? But I know I'm not.
You're a version of them. You're a version of what, boys?
She gets a lot of hate because people love to hate her. She's become the villainess.
Hate him.
I gotta ask you, what's up with all the animosity?
All it is competition. That's all it is.
Let's get really careful.
Yeah, Matt was
Look at
the
this. It's
same.
real
Okay.
dramatic
He
here.
actually
Let's
called
come
the
together.
conference.
Come together
Mark, you'll be
right now.
Cool. Can you say
Math Powerland.
Testing 1, 2, 3. It's just weird how, like, all of a sudden, this whole movement of people believing in the flat Earth, just if you look on Google Trends,
That's just it.
it's like
Believing.
spike.
It's like I don't. I'm not. I don't believe.
Which is a lot, which means you're never going to get through them in your life.
Like at the level.
But if you
and
type
weight
flat
of
Earth
the
into
entire ocean
YouTube at the
body,
beginning of 2015, you came
curving
up
on
with
a
50,000
ball
hits,
that's spinning.
roughly.
Right.
Search results. Okay. If you type it in this morning, I think.
See, I would have given all this good stuff. They would have like, got it, boom. We'll just use the crazy stuff. He's the main character. You're going to be the side character. And we're not even going to mention you brought it up. But now that you're not in it, yeah, I manipulated your production. You have to bring up the fact that I'm the originator. I'm the king of the flat Earth because I didn't participate. You got to make cell animation.
4 years of my life. I call it my flat Earth writer.
I still produce this thing. That's what's so funny. Is people don't understand. I still produce this thing.
Decided to cover it in exotic.
Watch a bit, fair use. You analyze this. I have to go take a pee because it's a lot more interesting. But I.
The famous ride. Oh wow, it goes.
The handle's great. I really wanted to bring my bike to the conference. It's a good way to break some conversation. People that are aren't even flat earthers, they go, wow, that's a cool looking bike you got there. And I go, wow, this is my flat earth rider, you know, and then kind of flat smack them and go from there. I wanted to do something to contribute to it all, to help spread the word. And I didn't have experience in making videos. And I thought, well, I have special skills and abilities to maybe make some kind of physical model of the thing. Because when you see it in 3D, it's a little easier to get the concept. If somebody would have said to me 3 years ago that I'd be known as the first person in the world to make these flat earth models, I would have laughed and said, you're completely insane. But here we are, and it happened, and I don't know how it happened. The very first one I made for Mark Sargent had the keg dome on it. Over here is some examples of the
there you go. You
newest
fit
ones.
all of God's creation
This
into
one
your
right here
fucking
is number
small
33.
mind.
2 years
As an
in
artist,
making FE models.
thinks you got the mind of God
September
down to a
11,
fucking disc.
2017. These little buttons I put on here to control the brightness. I'm
Yeah, there you go. Just like the globalists, you
As
put like a
much
little
as I'm
fucking
selling these
container on it.
Fords, to me, they got to be perfect.
You working for Mark Sargent? Oh, you got a whole fucking wood
The bigger
shop.
domes, it won't fit in my
Well, you
oven,
really got
so
the
I had to
fucking
make this
budget
little
there,
box
huh?
right here.
Wow, you're just making these little fucking flat discs, kind of like the globes. Just
Hopefully I
stay in
don't
your
look
fucking
like
barn, folks. Don't entertain more
getting hot.
land or an expedition and other sons. If you want to go flat, just stay put. This model's more devil than the globe. It was actually the model of the medieval era, like the medieval, the middle. Fair use tonight, looking at Behind the Curve, and I'm doing an educational sort of play-by-play commentary on something that was a reaction to my political science thesis. Is like, how do you know the Earth is a globe and globalism is real? If you even enforce all these mandates, laws that are international, the pretext of global security, global economics, climate change, and global weather.
Just this mechanism right here is 21 parts.
This guy's like really going into his like. He's doing fucking like flat Earth discs like globes.
We are turning.
Making clocks.
Good.
This guy's really sure he's got a market going here.
It's working. That's how you do it.
Grandfather clock, dude. That's a nice one. Cool.
These people can be very, very bright. So the issue is not necessarily a lack of intelligence.
It's not about being educated or uneducated or smart or dumb. It really isn't.
I think it's sometimes miseducation. I think somebody can be educated in such a way that they are educated to distrust
To your
authority
beard
on a regular basis.
and your weird hair.
Which kind of poisons
Okay,
the
so
well
we look
up
at
and
your
down the
metal
line.
dicks that fucking
However,
go boom, and they're
sometimes
going
the question
somewhere.
like this
Must
is
be
helpful.
Mars.
What
Let's
would
take
be
a look at the
type
proof.
of evidence that
Oh,
would
look
make
at the
you
image.
leave you in your
Painted.
position? Is there any kind of test?
Here we go.
I started.
And it ends with the test. I have a feeling this whole thing's going to end with the doctor doing a psychiatric assessment, how this is a danger to humanity. That's how I think this is going.
This is where I broadcast.
I haven't seen this film, but I have a feeling they're going to bring back the doctor who's going to go, in conclusion, we have a problem that we have to really worry about. People are crazy with the flat earth.
I think that
and then that's what's going to happen.
Is
the weaponization
the best way to get
against
the
the
truth.
First
And I just
Amendment
want to
to question
feel comfortable
fucking
in things that I
images that are
believe.
painted.
The difference between being skeptical about something and being in denial is very subtle but very important.
Let's see how smart I am.
Someone
Let's see
who
if
is
it ends there.
skeptical is willing to test their own hypotheses, their own assumptions. They are
Yeah, that's
actually
going across
looking for the
Antarctica.
truth,
But
even
you
if
won't
it turns
allow
out
like a mass amount of
that they were
civilians
wrong.
to audit Antarctica.
Recently, we carried out an
Then
experiment
it's back to this
test
guy's
the
mansion.
rotation to
It's
the
got a nice place. Like
If
really
the
goofy
Earth is
fucking
spinning at
design.
one
but
rotation
big
every
place.
24 hours, that means that every hour it has to turn 15 degrees. And if
Yeah,
the
let's do like
gyroscope is mounted anywhere
two
on
race
Earth,
teams,
it's going
northern
to
60th
drift.
latitude, southern 60th
In
latitude.
today's 21st
We
century
both start at the
navigation
same fucking
systems, they're
longitude,
using what's called a
and
ring
we
laser
move at the same
gyroscope.
speed, land or
It's
water. And we
extremely
should hit
precise.
each longitude at the
If
same
we could
time,
simply
minus
get
72
one of
hours
these
with
ring
weather
laser
and routes.
gyroscopes, we would be able
If
to
it's
prove
2
once
weeks
and for
late
all
all
that
the time
there
for the
is no
southern team, it
rotation
ain't a
of the
fucking
Earth.
ball. And
One
that's
of the
one
people
way
in
to
the
skin this
community
cat,
actually
and they're
purchased
just
one for
pushing back.
$20,000.
You start at point A. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you do
yeah,
some
and you're
kind
still
of
at point
process
A.
of collecting
I'm at
evidence,
point
thinking
fucking
whatever you
Z
want,
and
you
new
end up with
letters,
a
dude.
conclusion.
I'm
Point
into the
B that
Russian
you believe is
alphabet
true.
and how you fucking
Okay.
get lifts up
Science
to the
is
space
the arrow.
station with Russian
That's
Soyuz.
all science is the arrow. Science is a process to
Let's
get to
talk
conclusions.
about the scientific
But what we
method.
found
No
is
one's talking
when
about
we
it. No one's talking
turned
about
on
like
the
just like we
gyroscope,
could settle this
we
by
found
just
that
human beings
we were
walking across
picking up
Antarctica.
the
No one's talking about that. That was one of my conditions.
15 degree per hour drift.
You know, so I wouldn't be roped into a smear piece,
Obviously,
right,
we were taken
with a bunch of
aback by
fake
that.
flat earthers
That's
pretending.
kind of a problem, right?
There's a whole other
With
way
the
to
globe
think,
in
which
your
is that you start
fucking
at the
lap,
beat. You
like
start
you're
at the conclusion,
molesting
and
it.
you say, I have to find evidence that shows that this is true.
You're not looking
Yeah,
for data.
crossing Antarctica.
to try
Like, it's
to
really simple
prove
here.
you
Like
wrong
nobody.
or
So then,
refine
when
your
you see her
position.
get up in the last
You're trying
part,
to look
part
for
one,
all the data
He'll never do an expedition. Oh,
You'll
the
cherry
one
pick
way to prove
until
it?
you find evidence that
You say I
appears
won't.
to
And
be
nobody,
an error,
none of
a
you are bringing it
logical
up.
error to your dogma.
This entire film won't bring it up. That was one of my conditions. We talk about, we could settle this with humanity by doing a mass crossing and measurement of Antarctica. So we shut down the flat earthers. She wouldn't fucking talk about that.
To do was
So
to
it's looking flat, folks, because that's how you would shut down the flat earth and prove the globe. It's just lots of civilians crossing one day for world peace. 47 nations are in charge of Antarctica. They allow it. They allow the measurement. No,
So
they
the
don't.
next thing
So
that we're
it's not
going to
fucking a ball.
try is encasing the
You're in a
entire
fenced flat
apparatus
area.
in bismuth. If everything works well, I'd like to release it at the conference.
If there's not anything that you can say, anything you can show me that could make me believe, oh, I guess I'm wrong. It's not falsifiable anymore. It doesn't make any sense for a scientist to argue with that kind of thinking. There's no point.
We have been able to prove other aspects of it, and so it's not unreasonable then for us to continue claiming that the Earth is flat.
It's like so Colorado design. They go eat at fucking the Olive Garden.
What do you think?
It's like it's
Popcorn's
an Olive
great.
Garden metric right there. Sorry if you eat at the Olive Garden, but when I looked around with my wife when I was there, I was like,
Why am I
this is actually like a class level
to
eat
court
here
Patricia
as a
Steele,
family.
you know.
We don't
When
want to
she
be.
was up in Seattle, we went
Let's
to
go
the
get
Seattle
French cheese,
Museum of
French
Flight
cheese at Trader
just to go
Joe's.
into enemy territory. It has a sizable space exhibit. So we did a live stream.
Take it
went very
off,
well,
Patricia.
and no controversy
Patrick
was
CIA.
thrown out or
Show us
anything.
your fucking
And
Bruce
thought,
Jenner.
There's one down in Houston. Houston Space Center. It's like, all right, fly down.
We're going to NASA to get indoctrinated. I'm scared. Hold me.
Oh, it ends with NASA, laser, some experiment
why
that
didn't
fails,
you go
and then a
with the
doctor
real
saying
voice?
they're crazy.
So I don't want men telling me what
guarantee
to
it.
do.
Your destination is too far away.
Your destination is not worth going to.
You can't get there.
Yeah, like going across Antarctica.
Alternative choice.
Do you even know how to drive this vehicle?
No, because she's not going anywhere. She's staying put in your fucking dome, Duddy.
Hello.
I love the music in the background. God bless America.
So this is to show how
Ready to go
pathetic
live
the
once
flat
I hit
Earth
the
is
go live button?
in the face of the overwhelming Wizard of Oz.
We're
Hello. We're here.
So there's Dorothy,
Patricia
who's really a
Steele and Mark
fucking
Sargent
tranny,
here
tyranny.
in Houston, Texas,
And,
at the Houston
then you got
Space
the,
Center. This museum that
The
we are
lion,
in
the
will
Tin Man,
probably
and
be a mix of
the
real and
Scarecrow,
fake.
all in one.
Well, it's going to be mostly fake.
Looks like the Tin Man in there. He's playing Scarecrow.
You've got Angry
lion
Birds
back.
in space
Right.
endorsing this. NASA's now taking co-sponsors.
It doesn't even really look like the moon.
No, it doesn't.
This is what NASA is reduced
Got
to.
some friends from
Their costume astronaut suit with a broken watch strap. Okay, I think we're winning, people.
Wow.
Mark's coming into space. At least
There-
this is free.
There's the curvature of the Earth. I've been brainwashed, and I keep hitting this button
I'm
for
just doing something
splashdown
on the
sequence, and
computer.
nothing happens.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Start. Yeah.
So this isn't working.
It's not even working.
So there's a broken watch on one of the astronauts. There's this broken.
Yeah, this is broken.
It
The
costs-
Orion simulator is broken.
It costs about $30 to get in per person, give or take. Everything is run down.
Everything's worn.
Everything is kind of broken. Chris Pontius could teach this place how to make things. Highlight of the whole thing.
What's that?
Look, Ma, I'm an astronaut.
You want it?
You guys
I'm
look.
selling
I can
it
understand
off
why
for
this part
It
is
looks like it's a barn,
I don't use it. I use this
empty.
now.
There's one car in the lot.
You know what? That's not the door to enter.
It's
Come
like
on.
standard for like streaming
I'm gonna
and
try it.
talking.
Of course.
But
Gonna try
it has so much stuff.
There's no way.
If you're doing
Opened.
music,
This is it.
This is the entry.
This is the
Oh,
entry.
let me know.
Whoa. Okay, this is impressive because of magnitude of size. Wait. We're the only ones here. Does everyone see how big this is? We're the only ones here. I'm going to say something that's never been uttered in any NASA facility ever.
Oh, I can't wait.
The Earth is flat!
And it echoed. That was brilliant. What you're looking at is part of the greatest science fiction story ever told.
He's saying it, but he's saying what?
Figured out that the world was not a globe. So you create a rocket program to take the
Look, the way they talk is like, look at ER, look at like maybe an old episode of Roseanne, look at like an old episode of like
They took
Charlie Sheen, whatever.
And honestly, you could you throw the general Inception soundtrack on
Just
anything.
look at a sitcom and the way they talk.
Can I have it? Yeah, I know. This is the one that NASA gets.
And then you get the CIA narc game that's going on.
Hello.
Underneath the character.
Welcome to episode number
I'm going to be
186 of Flat Earth
famous
and Other
with my
Hot
mom in my
Potatoes.
house.
I'm Patricia Steer.
Nothing's
And I'm Mark
been happening
Sargent.
in our lives.
Well,
anyways.
Austin asked, have you
But we're
ever
part
been
of the
out
team.
somewhere and someone recognized you by your voice?
That's
not
what I think is
by
going on
Patricia?
here.
For me, the answer is
Or it's just
absolutely
really
not.
opportunist.
Me, on the other hand,
It's like, we're going to
yes.
take this guy's
Really?
stuff.
Oh
We
my
got friends
God.
in budget and Hollywood and everything, and
I
we'll
don't
be part of this.
think that
And we won't
we're
have any
celebrities.
conditions on how
I
we're
think that
represented.
people who are looking into Flat Earth want to get away from that culture.
See,
No, it's good.
It's better
No,
that
no,
I
it's a
did
safe
not
answer. I'm
agree to
going
this
to
because
take a
then it
little different
wouldn't.
direction.
I
I don't
even
think I'm a
had a
celebrity,
king
but yet when I go
of
to
the Flat
public
Earth
functions,
status.
I run into people that
I'd be this
do the
fucking
deer
guy's
headlights.
Kramer.
She's just staring at me, and I go, "What?" She goes, "You're Mark Sargent." I go, "Yeah." She goes, "I didn't know." I was like, "Oh, seriously?"
So
And
there's
she
a
was,
lot
yeah, and she
of
had that whole.
anecdotes
That
about how
must be a
people
very
are
pleasing
recognizing
feeling because you've affected her life.
recognizing him in this film.
Being on with me doing The Secret Show has made your face more recognizable. And
So there's a
being
lot of,
on with you on Strange World was sort of a way that people got to know me a long time ago.
Adulation with
So we've
a comedian's
having a
work.
lovely symbiotic
These two
relationship.
people.
Like a
That
whale
itself
that has
should
those
creep you out.
smaller fish
You
on
know,
it,
you
but, like,
saw the
eats all the
footage
algae
in
the gills.
part one.
Boy, I better
me
be
on
the whale in
stage.
the story.
It's like, this is my shit.
The international
And then they had
conference
these
is only
people
about
walk in and
6
walk
weeks
around
away.
with my
So the
good-
first day she's going to be on a
my
panel,
clothes, basically.
and then I
It's
am
like watching
doing a
people walk around
keynote
with my coat. It's like, what the fuck
speech,
you doing?
speaking event.
It's very.
And
You have to
then
understand it
the
from like
second
the
day,
level.
the last
like,
event, really the last.
somebody
conference,
borrows your
Patricia and I are
clothes
going to be
without
hosting
asking you, and then they return it,
the
and they
video awards show.
They have
But I
their
don't want
smell
to
all over your clothes.
You had a nice time, right?
That's
I
fucking
did have a
gross.
nice time.
Yeah, I
Somebody's
had a great
walking
time, too. It was
around,
pretty fun.
they grab your clothes, they wear your fucking clothes, and then you know they have your clothes. Nobody believes you're saying, oh, you're being paranoid. Then one day you see your jacket back on your fucking couch, and it stinks of them, and no one believes
we want
you.
to have proof.
It's like, that's what
and
this
if we can
is
do
like.
that, it's game over. But the rotation is not looking good at this point. We don't want to blow this, you know.
Right.
And we've got $20,000 in this
There's the
freaking gyro.
rapist.
But yeah, if we
There
dump
he is.
what we
Totally looks
found
like a
right now,
rapist.
we would be
The rapist,
It'd be bad.
or therapist. Depends on
It
how
would
you
be
read
bad.
it. You know,
So,
if I see
what I just told you
therapist,
is
I see the
confidential.
rapist. Watch out who you're fucking
Any
confiding
one
in.
single experiment proves anything conclusively. That's why we're building a preponderance of evidence.
I think there's a few more experiments we could do with.
Yeah, except
lasers.
crossing and doing an expedition,
But
huh, old
I think,
man?
Jaren's
Fucking
working on a
look
great
at this
experiment now.
limp
That's
worm.
going to help with.
He
all
looks like
that.
old
What we're gonna be
fucking
doing
bark
is an
that I kicked
experiment at
around.
Victoria.
Oh,
Canal,
here we go.
In
This
Hope,
jack off.
California. It's a 3.88 mile stretch.
Oh,
We're gonna actually
yeah,
set
so
up
you're in the
3
fucking numbers.
posts,
Here
one
we
at
go.
the start, one at the end, and one in the middle. And then we're going to shoot a laser from.
Yeah,
the
you're gonna
first
shoot a
post and
laser
see
like
where
you're
it crosses,
fucking Luke
that
Skywalker,
first post. So
forgetting that
that's
at the
8
other
feet.
end
And
of the
then get it to
laser,
cross the same point
the
at
fucking
the far end.
laser's diameter is bigger.
And when we
And
can
then you're not
confirm
even
that
gonna
both are
fucking
passing the exact
proofread
same
your
spot,
level on your
then
fucking
somebody will
tripod.
tell us what the
And then
middle's
you're gonna
at.
pretend that
Middle's
you're
at
getting
8
an
feet, it's
even
flat.
parallel, and then you won't
if
even
it
deduct
comes
the
back,
fucking
it is,
wave.
only,
And then you're gonna,
5.5
you're gonna go out on a
feet.
cloudy, foggy
Yeah, I mean,
day.
that means
Let me
that
guess,
the Earth
and then it's gonna end
has
with a
curvature.
doctor
That's a
talking
cool
about how you're
experiment,
all
just in
crazy.
general, it's interesting. So I'm trying to think if there's a laser is
All
just
right.
going straight. Yeah, they're in trouble here.
So like
Yeah,
a
you're
laser
in
like for your
fucking
cat, I
trouble.
think would be 5 or even less milliwatts.
Mystery
So this
Science
is 3,000
Theater 2000.
milliwatts.
Behind the curve, folks.
The beam will grow.
Fair use. I got
as it
the
gets
little
further.
logo right there.
And
fuck you,
if
Carolyn Clark.
Put the expander on.
Ugly
it's supposed to
fucking
get
cardboard
smaller.
face.
The most surprising thing I've
Your
learned
face
is
looks like
how
it was
hard
chiseled
experiments
out of fucking
are. There's
dry,
so many
rotten
things that go
wood.
wrong. I think I didn't give enough
Can't
credit
believe
to
you gotta
people who
fuck
do
that,
experiments.
Danielle.
Usually they have
What
a
an
way of
ugly
single out
bitch.
that evidence. But It's rare that you have something which is
Dude,
performed
break
by
your
them,
vows,
and
man.
it's
Every
just so
time you gotta
obvious,
look
there's
at that
no other way to
thing
look
when
at
you
it.
insert.
So I'm curious to see what happens.
Man.
It's really going to be interesting, actually.
Is Hollywood really
We as
that
flat
worth it?
earthers feel that we have several smoking guns. Several.
She's
There's
fucking
no
Paula
curve, but we don't
Poundstone behind your
represent
back.
We wanna
It's a
have the
known
whole package
convicted
between the laser
pedophile.
and the fiber
For all
optic
you know.
gyro. This technology is going to kill
Hey,
the ball.
fair use.
They would like us to believe that the ball Earth has been
Oh,
proven
here we
for
go.
a
We got the
long time,
kumbaya
but this
scene.
debate
They're all by the
has raged on
fire.
for
This is
centuries.
all fake, man.
Here in the
This
US,
is the
millions are
documentaries
getting ready
set this
for a
up. These are
spectacular
actors.
dance
They're not
between
real.
the sun and moon.
Today's eclipse is a reminder of our place in the solar system. So I hope
Except
you're
the
sitting
shadow
down
of
for
your
this.
eclipse is
Despite
like
loads of
70
irrefutable
miles
proof, some
wide.
people
That's a
still
pretty
believe
small
the
moon
Earth
on the heliocentric
is
model.
flat.
There's this big war right now. Does the eclipse disprove flat Earth? That's the big hot debate. And in fact, the Philadelphia Voice,
he sounds like he's
newspaper,
reading
just
a
did their
script.
thing, and they contacted me and then Bob.
So he's doing like
what they don't know is that the guy
script
from the Philly
coaching
Voice is also
off camera for a documentary. Wow.
No, I'm not a secret flat earther.
that line from Spectre from James Bond. He goes, "The thing you should know about us is we have people everywhere."
I might get business cards made up with that now.
If you were here right now, where we are on Whidbey Island, you would still have 93% of the eclipse. To get that extra 7%, we got to drive 3 hours and face a mob of Woodstock proportions. Is that worth it? No, not in my opinion, but we're going to be representing and putting the focus. All we have to do is get the attention of people.
Okay. Love you.
Love you.
All right.
Additional delays are expected due to eclipse-related traffic.
Oh, not yet, not yet. Come on. My best bet there. Let's take a look.
This is the eclipse.
You want my surreal moment of the day? Here it is. 2 years after I make Flat Earth Clues, here we are on one of the biggest freeways in the United States, on the biggest
Photo or
eclipse
painting
in
with a
100
globe?
years.
No.
We're flashing Flat Earth messages. And I had nothing to do with it. This was done by a completely different Flat Earth chapter, and the fact that I'm saying Flat Earth chapter like it's a thing is amazing.
That's good.
I love Flat Earth.
Cool. That's
I love
good.
them.
Good. That was good. I didn't know there was just like a random thing. Unbelievable, huh? And Brexit, and I mean, I'm telling you, like, there's people screaming this on the side of the roads
Perfect
right
thing
now.
for you to film.
The whole thing is unraveling.
Ladies and gentlemen.
They want to have an event to exterminate you.
Boys
They
and
call it
girls,
World War
gather
III.
round.
And we just gotta fucking go, no.
Here to tell you a tale.
It's cross.
Tale of the globe.
Cross, get it? Nailed on a cross.
Oh, it's not a happy
I
story,
really don't
my
want you to say
friends.
cross.
This isn't even the biggest one I've seen. The biggest
my
one
God,
I've
they're
ever
making
seen
a
is
globe
down in
in
Raleigh
Vegas,
at
they're
the
making a globe
National
in
Convention. Go figure. We didn't even
Orlando,
pick the city for
globes
that.
in Dubai. They're gonna make
They
big
start
globes you can like
launching
go into.
nukes
So inner Earth,
straight
hollow
up in
Earth, globe.
1958. After the third shot, they formed NASA. The media has helped us because they've said, "What do flat earthers think about the eclipse?" It's great because people want to know. They're curious. Like, what do they think? It's just another part of the firmament, the dome.
Oh,
the
here we
display
go.
system.
Like you're appropriating
What are your
technical
takes then about
terms,
the
biblical terms. Okay.
Same thing.
Here we go. So if the
I
whole
caught
thing's
his
going to
smile
be
when I was
reduced at
talking
the
about
end to
planetarium
a
part, he
belief
wasn't buying it.
system, when we said,
It's
no,
in his
you're
head.
going to believe
He may research it, may
globes
not.
are
That's what the
real.
billboard's for. We're just trying to put the
Never
seeds
seen
in people's
globes from
heads.
space.
Go to Flat
You
Earth
have to be an
Clues,
astronaut.
and any one of those videos
You
in
know,
the
and
description,
you're not
you'll
gonna
see
be
a
one.
link
Isn't
that
that
says
funny?
"Join the Flat Earth
So
Army."
you have to believe that that's a real thing. or a
Right
real
now,
image or a
Bob from
photo.
Globebusters is launching
video.
a weather balloon
Let's see the
as we
weather
speak.
crisis.
They're hoping to see
You got
the eclipse
Jupiter,
from
and you got everything
100,000
else.
feet.
Let's get
And
the-
there it goes.
Shouldn't it be more important? We're on it. Nope.
Safe for direct solar viewing.
Cartoons,
Nice.
composites.
Oh yeah, we're getting close
graphics.
now.
And this film never talks about that. And one of its interesting little manipulative facets is that it uses animation to represent certain individuals. So I'm like, wow, so they use animation to recontain or reinforce the narrative. Interesting. Of animation being written. So is the doctor going to talk about that? No. He's not going to talk about animation validating the which I think is a very are up there getting those images for us. But when they are in fact painted, it's creepy. Timelines, inconsistencies, what they can
Totally
and
worth
can't do. Back on us, but other big
Worth it.
celestials.
Worth every second of it.
Spheres.
So glad
the
I'm
narrative doesn't work out. The whole thing's fucking systematic. This film is
How was the eclipse itself?
They have these two
Did you have a
jokers walking
feeling?
around.
Was there anything in the
Forrest
air
Gump,
when it happened?
fucking
Anything,
pretending that they're figuring shit out.
Weird.
It's like seeing like a special effect in a movie that
You're a special
really
effect in a
catches
movie
you
called
off
Behind the
guard.
Curve.
It appeared that the sun is self-eclipsing, that there was no three-dimensional object that was moving.
Oh, so the
in
sun's
front of the
self-eclipsing.
sun.
You don't think
that's
it'd be like
what
might be a
we've been
third
thinking about the
celestial
moon.
body in motion?
So
according
when
to
I
that,
saw this, it's like, oh
and
yeah,
like
of course,
ancient
of
historical
course that's what it
accounts,
is.
and their visual astronomy that predicted seasons for harvesting down to a fucking T.
New York
That there was a
Times,
third
Seattle
celestial body in motion.
Times.
Thanks. You try to co-opt this Nibiru and all this sci-fi nonsense. But the sun is self-eclipsing. Okay, so you're in a fucking Jim Carrey movie
There it is.
set.
This
The
morning,
sun's
the
self-eclipsing.
Southwood
See,
Record ran
everything
a
is
front
good,
page
but
story
everything is not
on
good
the
with
flat
this
Earth.
character.
Southwood grad Mark Sargent
what he's
has been known
basically
for many
saying-
things. Once it was for homemade
You know what's interesting is that the stakes were
Another
so
time,
heavy
he
for
was
this
the
documentary
pinball
crew that they had to
champion
take
of the world.
what he was
Today,
saying
he is a
and me
leading
watching
figure of
and
the
me
flat Earth
like
movement.
making, and they had to
Yes,
make sure they couldn't
he
be
really
called out
believes
too
he
quickly.
really did.
I got fuel
Then
out of
on the
them to
inside
make the
cover,
flat Earth move further.
You actually have the editor's column.
I got more
Only
fucking
wrote one
mileage
thing,
out of these characters.
called "The World is
with
Not
their fucking
Flat,
smear
and News
video
Isn't
where they couldn't
Fake."
rope me into it on
I met
Netflix.
with a conspiracy theorist this
I
week, a
got
bona fide
them
flat earther.
to stay into
He's
character
utterly
and make it look
and
more
unequivocally
documentary
wrong.
than the smear video it actually is. Because it is.
So
This guy
why
here,
promote
at
a
the end of
theory
it,
the vast majority of
reduces
people
everything
find
he does to
ridiculous?
drivel,
I
cult,
haven't told a lot of
fucking
people
belief
that this is
system,
what Mark
which
is
is what the
into.
globe is.
Because
I give you
I'm
hard
thinking
facts that
they're just
trigonometry
gonna think we're
fails when I see
screwy.
islands,
I don't want to put you on the
coastlines,
spot, but like, do you
boats
think? Do you
that
agree?
are supposed to be hidden by
That the Earth
curves.
is flat?
And then all your globes
Well,
are painted.
I'll tell
I
you
was one of
what,
your
I
fucking
want
NASA
to see
painters.
that it is
So what do you do?
proven that it is
You
not
don't
flat.
fucking have me
So that's
in
kind of where
control
I'm
of my
coming from.
likeness
I'm-
and
I,
brand
well,
and
Good
my
answer. I didn't
talking
even coach her
points
on that.
No,
in an
and-
interview.
and I will
and
tell
you have
you,
your
since
fake
we've done
as your
this
central
for, what,
character
3 years?
somehow
2.5,
dupe me into
2.5
some
years.
misprofiling that I'm so eager to be in a
And,
Hollywood film
my
and then have me
prayer
roped
has
in as some
been
second fiddle Kramer to his
continually
fucking dumb
that truth will be
Seinfeld,
revealed.
and then I make the whole thing collapse and it's just done with. No, I'm gonna get fuel out of you. You do
All
cell
of us have that
animation.
tendency
Try
to
to take
wanna
whatever you
connect
can out of my
to
fucking
people
channel
around
out of
things
fair
that make
use,
us unique.
and I'll be doing fair use commentary of your stupid propaganda film.
One thing we know is
So
that
let's
human
get to the
beings
doctor
feel very
and how he's
threatened
going to
when we feel
assess
that
all these
identity
people
is
as
being taken
believers in a
away.
cult.
Joining the
Let's
club
see the end of your stupid
often
propaganda
comes as a
film
relief
that's
because
pretending to
they
be a
can finally
documentary
identify with other
that I
like-minded
fucking
people.
I said I didn't want to be a
First
part
time,
of,
they're not
and I
different,
knew you were up
they're
to,
no longer alone.
and that's why you didn't sign to my conditions. Passing the account, like that's impressive, right?
All right, I got something for you to sign.
Yeah.
Stay flat.
So it's back to his fandom. The guy's walking around with my
Defacing
jacket.
a harmless globe.
He didn't ask to borrow it.
I was proud to do it.
This
I'm
is
excited to
really
be a part of it.
lame. You know when like an ugly, let's say you're a hot chick,
This is a
and you got a
flat
couple
earth
ugly
meetup.
fat friends,
And
and
they
then
threw
they
me down
want to
for
bore
this.
your clothes, and you
Because
pity
I'm
them,
infamous.
and you let them
Because-
borrow
no,
the
because I'm
fucking
real.
dress,
That's what
but they
everyone says.
overstretch
They
it,
wanna
or they
shake my
fucking get a
hand
shit stain in the
and
back,
make sure
or they
that
drop
you know,
wine on it
touch
because
me.
they get so
That sort of
horny
thing.
and
Like, it's like,
drunk
oh, yeah, he's a
that
real
they
guy.
fucking
He's not
ruin
just a
your
voice on a
dress,
video.
and you're like, that's the last time I'm gonna, you know, lend out one of my hottest dresses to one of my fat ugly friends.
You're here for
That's what I feel like with fucking Mark Sargent.
So what this is, it's a
I'm gonna go
monthly
fill up
outreach
this.
event. We've got 2 astronomy talks related to something that's going on in research, something that's going on at JPL, something that's been in the news. Lastly, but not leastly, we have an extra large NASA swag t-shirt.
Let's see some cool Bob Ross. Yep. That's wise.
So I'm going to talk tonight about my favorite now dead spaceship, Cassini.
I stayed up all night to watch the last data transmissions come in. I was sitting there with my dogs looking at me like, why is the light still on? Why are we still awake?
I'm Mark Sargent.
Oh, God. Sargent.
So Lamar Glover is going to talk about dismantling the scientific superiority complex.
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing? So I'm gonna talk about flat earthers real quick. Right?
The problem I see is actually not from the side of the conspiracy theorists. It is actually from our side, from the side of science. Very often it's difficult not to look down.
I was so frustrated about getting told I was an idiot. So I decided to say, laugh at me all you want, because science is different than the shit they're believing. I've already lost friends and stuff. So I felt so good when I made the shirt.
The friend said, you know, sometimes the only way to change somebody's mind is to shame them. And I say, I don't think that is the last resort ever. This is the same as saying that if a kid doesn't get a particular subject, it's not your fault as their teacher, it is their fault. I do not believe that.
Yeah, he's right about
just
that.
It's up you haven't developed your empathy to be able to see from their point of view where they're getting stuck.
It should be,
we can't blame it all on people just being delusional or the C word, which is the crazy word. I think a lot of times we say crazy, and it's a scapegoat, it's an umbrella term, right? How many people in here have been called crazy before?
The only proofing.
I've shared it with my mother, my daughter,
with the public,
two guys who I was dating who didn't want to date me anymore after I told them about my belief in the flat earth.
You know, I have 4 children. My sons are grown. Them and their mother, who's my ex-wife, kind of think Dad's a little gone off his rocker.
I just finalized the divorce. I no longer speak to my parents, my brother, or anybody else other than people that are interested in doing truth research.
The worst case scenarios, you just completely push these individuals at the
these
fringe
individuals push
of
them.
society, and then society just lost them.
And you
Or
would say to
society
yourself,
pushed them.
well, why would you pursue something if you're going to have a falling out with your blood relatives? What's important is truth.
People give you strange looks, that's fine. If you're not hurting them, let them think what you want. They're just asleep, going through life. They're just background noise.
I do find Mark to be a hero, but you're so
the comment
lovely for doing that for everyone, and it is so touching. But
the public would be able to grapple with it.
Give me a hug.
Cheat
Just
your life of saying stuff.
I decided just to give it to you.
No, you don't have to give me this. Yeah, give me the pin. I've got apparently a swag bag that's happening.
You got lots of stuff?
Not as much. Not like this.
Truthers, flat earthers, anti-vaxxers. When we leave people behind, we leave bright minds to mutate and stagnate. These folks are potential scientists gone completely wrong. They're natural, inquisitive, and rejection of norms could be beneficial to science if they were more scientifically literate.
Let's take the metaphor of argument is war. One side wins, then the other loses. If my opponent feels he's better than me, that's intolerable to me. So I'll not listen to what he says. Already when he's talking, I'll be planning my counterattack. Another way of thinking about it is, let's go and explore together. And this exploring together takes us to another place than
what we're going to see in the end here is basically the
so every flat
agenda
earther shouldn't be held with the contempt, but serve as a reminder of a scientist that could have been, someone that fell through the cracks. And we as ambassadors of science are called upon to do more.
My comedy routine, my brand, from being the flow of commerce, and then replace this as the flow of commerce.
So scientists of varying degrees of professionalism
violating my likeness,
seriously consider becoming a mentor to someone who is coming from a non-traditional point of entry to the sciences.
If you're not willing to engage with them, you can't expect them to change.
You just hope that they will meet you even halfway, but often when you push them to the corner, it takes a lot of effort for them to even move one step.
Oh, this guy here, the compassion. All right. Those compassion Latinos really fucking scared the shit out of me. Okay, he doesn't get it, but we have to have compassion for him not getting the fucking propaganda. It's like, wow, re-education camp, no free speech. Look, explain trigonometry, how I see the boat in the island. Why are you paranoid about me fucking crossing Antarctica? Boom! Why are your globes all painted? And how come you, in 2019, with all the technology stuff up in space, you don't have anything looking back at the Earth, full globe, doing one spin on itself?
Those make pretty good waves.
Boom. Say there's a weather crisis.
Sharon.
Let's have cameras up there looking
Nice
at
to
the
meet
full
you. Your
globe
name?
and how the hurricanes
Bob.
come in.
Could use your help
It's pretty
too. We're gonna,
simple here and noble, and it's a
maybe
good
have you guys
idea.
do the
but
middle
the fact that you
station.
don't
We
fucking
have these panels. We're going to try the panels instead of the posts.
Proves to me that you're all...
We're going to get the leveler right now.
Oh, here we go with the lasers.
See a red line right around where that green is?
And then the music, like it's serious. They're not giving elevation to the tripod.
To your right.
They're just doing to your right.
Press it once to turn on, then double press it.
They don't talk about the laser.
Okay, hold on. Keep it right there.
Let's say this is the light that you see. You just where you look at this.
It might be that big, you're saying?
I don't think so. I think it'll be under a foot for sure. And then we're gonna have one of these panels in the middle, and then when we have both ones hitting at the same height, then we'll just move the panel in between. The middle people will.
Yeah,
and then wherever
on?
it crosses the
Shut
panel.
it down?
That's it. That's another gun. Okay, where's the...
We're ready.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was fucking loud.
Make sure you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it, but it's kind of hot.
Oh, just now I got louder? Weird. So you're saying that my sound was more loud before? You're saying that my sound was more loud before and now suddenly was lower? That's impossible. That's impossible. That's impossible. That would be... They're censoring sound now.
The beam.
Wow. So they're watching, but they know that I'm engaging fair use law.
Absolutely. Okay. Tell me if the beam gets smaller right now. Okay, tell me if it gets smaller.
Wow.
There.
Wow.
I should work on the beam first.
Okay. I'll let me try this. Thanks.
Are the specs on that laser that it should get to that small of a dot at that distance?
With the focuser, yeah, it should be...
See, they're doing the experiment. I called it. It's going to be a failed experiment.
Okay, I got it on a pretty tight beam.
Whether Jaron meant it or not, he's in their program of manipulation, using their instruments, a laser.
There we go.
Same size?
It's way bigger, but it's hitting the panel. Curvature wouldn't be hitting the panel. I don't know what the distance is, but
yeah, that's okay. I don't know.
Shouldn't be any laser hitting it.
You too.
What are they doing at 2 Mile Lake?
I know, but I'm not going to just...
You have to figure out that laser.
Yeah, I know. Bob, I'm going to shoot it, and if you don't see it any smaller...
I'm doing it right now.
We're going to have to reassess this.
I'm going to try to reassess this.
Is it a smaller beam?
No, it's a big fucking beam, and regardless, with the height of your tripod, there should be a certain hump in that lake body, unless you went to like a stupid, like mini putt lake.
Not today.
If laser's hitting your panel, doesn't matter how big the scope is. There's no curve blocking your laser. But did you go to a stupid small pond?
Well, a sellout crowd is expected in North Carolina.
You didn't tell us the length of your lake. You didn't tell us the aperture width of your laser at that distance. You didn't show us if your tripod was 5 feet, 6 feet, or if it was even level with... You didn't put like a level next to your fucking scope of your laser.
There's Patricia.
I'm so excited, like Christmas Eve.
Guess you need it. Write it like the dead was it here. Believe you still got it. Forget it. I remember.
Bring that on Facebook.
Like later, I'm on a block right now, 30-day block.
Still can't believe all this is really happening.
Oh my God. Right on, man. Get flat. There's only a couple people that have the blackout shirts. Yeah. Of course, I was there.
You're hot potatoes. That's me.
This is Hollywood for her.
Well, in a way, for me too.
Are we twinkling? There we go. I drove 1,150 miles yesterday, so...
I traveled from Ireland then to Iceland.
Oh, you came even further.
Hello, Bob. How are you? Hug or handshake or how about both? This room is big. What if I trip when I walk up there? Like something like that. I know. Used to the safety of you two.
Here's Mark here.
He's busy being Mark Sargent.
Sweet. Look, I got my...
I have one too. I didn't put it on. What does it say?
Why would you put it on? It's not fashionable. You changed outfits, obviously.
Who had the upfront cash?
Nice to meet you. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Website money.
We can fill the place.
Websites cost money.
I think
Where did all the money come from for all this?
And I told him the idea of Mark and Patricia's operatives is laughable. And nothing against you.
No, I get it.
Just self-started.
You know, it's like, come on, man. I still don't believe it.
Hello. Here we go. 2 days earlier.
Anybody going to a Flat Earth conference? Okay, first off, they're not at a real Flat Earth conference. That's more a military play using Hollywood assets, which explains why Dennis Luca, who's playing the character Mark Sargent, owned by Joe Reel or Ralph Reel, if that's his real name, has access to interview people in the Air Force and the military.
So it's like, so you think I'm a guy named Joe or a guy named Dennis?
I said, look, I checked out Mark Sargent. I did the forensic analysis of it. I'm telling you, what Mark is saying is true.
Now, the sad part of this is that a lot of people bought a ticket.
My wife in the back.
And they said there's no refunds. So if I were to put out a video exposing Mark Sargent, well, they keep the money. Now, you're probably too scared to go.
It's a lot of people not to come. And I'm like, usually, you know, because they understand. They're not going to refund. Right. Money out the window. They're all excited. I was just like, maybe he's at a point. Maybe this is a setup, and maybe we have to be careful.
But I've been saying this for, I don't know, like since this guy showed up.
People say, because of you, I'm not going. Or because of Patricia, I'm not going.
I couldn't believe the amount of people that came to me. And they're just like, I'm in the line with him. I'm going to take that stand.
I just let you call me delusional. I let you call me crazy. Why? Because I'm the one who came up with the Flat Earth.
That's great. I like this movie more than I thought I would. As long as I'm the two old guys on the top of the fucking, the rafters like in the Muppet Show, and I can get commentary out on this.
Absolutely amazing.
I don't mind it. As long as I can be here with my big fat mug going, why didn't you do this and that? Then it's like, okay, then I'm okay with it. And I want to be able to fucking sell shirts and fucking expedition merch by showing this fucking under fair use, you stupid ugly whore.
We can be here and we can grow.
Yeah, that's right, I called you an ugly whore. Do you know who you are?
A spinning ball flying through space. This will continue to grow. This will get bigger. And honestly, change the world.
Yeah, let's speed it up.
This one right here was number 2. And then this one's number 33.
What is this, an auction?
And then the latest one here
this
is
guy's just raking in money, selling domes.
6.
It is a privilege and an honor to bring out Jaron Campanella.
Show me your laser, man.
When this all started, I was looking for the truth. You guys know that. And deep down inside, I think everybody knows.
You got a laser and you want to show it to them.
This is called
Pull
the
it out in front of everybody.
This is the front brake right here. We turn the brake on, it lights the crystals up. These are models of the Flat Earth. And then the latest one was this map circulating around.
Cool, you got some more land in that one.
Showing other continents outside of our world.
This is so life-affirming. And I think that this whole event is going to have a healing.
God, look at Robbie Davidson. He's running the Oscars of the hippies.
I really liked that. That was really interesting.
I got chills from it and was like,